All right, welcome back to our coverage here of StreamTV show in Denver, and I'm very happy to be with Scott. Scott, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. All right, Scott, let's get right into it, and very excited to hear your take here. And I've been seeing that a lot this week. The entertainment experience is moving out of just the living room, just your traditional screens. And I'd love to get your take on what platforms like TiVo, what role do you play, outside of linear when you're talking about fast, when you're talking about smart TVs, and now the car, which we'll talk about in a second. So what does this all mean for the user experience, but also for the media touchpoints?
Our business really runs across three vertical markets. TiVo OS is the primary focus on smart TVs. So we've launched over 6 million TVs in Europe, and that business is growing very, very well. And we control the total user experience from home screen search, recommendations, discovery, editorial, and there are a lot of touch points with the consumer. I'll come back to that in a minute. Pay TV is another important business for us with a focus on North America, South America, and that's working with cable operators. And again, we provide a managed service, which the home screen, the set-top box, the remote control, again, total user experience. And then the third category you touched on is automotive, and we are the primary video discovery solution for our customers and partners, including BMW and Mercedes. So I think what those platforms and markets have in common is a lot of the technology is the same technology behind the glass, the same DNA, the same sort of priority we put on the consumer experience we carry across those three markets.
I'd love for you to talk to us a little bit about that move from app-centric experience to content-centric. So maybe talk about the home screen and why is it such a valuable asset for not just the viewer, but also for advertisers.
I think I'll do that in two parts, right? Because the first transition really was from app to content-centric user experiences. And that really emerged as we sort of started to move beyond sort of that cable experience into streamers. And the pandemic accelerated everything for streamers, streaming platforms, and streaming services. So that there was a proliferation of apps. And, as consumers, we all signed up for might be a dozen apps and services. But what we're really there for are the content, the shows. So even, our partners like Disney and Paramount, when they double down, it's on the shows they're presenting. That's the focal point. The service is a delivery means, but the primary touch point for the consumer is the show. So our home screen, 5 years ago, it would have been a lot of app-centric sort of presentation. Today, it's very much content-centric, and we bring those assets to the foreground. On the home screen, there's paid inventory. That's the home screen hero. That's hugely important for the business, but that's also largely those are content partners as well that are buying that inventory. So Disney launches a new movie, they're buying inventory and promoting that film. So that's still a benefit to the consumer. We then control the home screen carousel. Those are the assets, the content itself. And the app partners also have a very strong presence on that home screen above the fold. So we're striking a balance there. But that is the move. I think consumers are here for the show. They're here for the sporting event. They're here for that movie or that series. So we bring that front and center. The touch points, we look at this in a holistic way across algorithmic or AI-driven recommendations. So that helps populate the carousels and what shows up there. But we also work with our partners to understand what they're promoting, not just for paid inventory, but what new shows are they releasing? And maybe it's an older series, but they've acquired rights to it and it's available for the next 6 months. But if it's a great classic movie, we're going to bring that to the foreground, and that's editorial. So there's a balance between algorithmic and editorial curation that we believe really drives the best possible experience.
Let me touch on one of those verticals you mentioned there, which is the automotive piece. And I was very, very happy this morning to see the demo parked outside here in the BMW. And I wanted to ask you about that experience, which is becoming more contextual. It's more connected. So where do you see that intersection between entertainment, mobility, and And, what does that mean for the consumer at the end of the day and how they're interacting with content?
We launched with BMW 2 years ago, and we just launched with Mercedes at CES this year, and we'll have some others to announce shortly. So automotive is really interesting. We spend our lives at home, work, and car. So we spend a lot of time in the car. And the glue, I think, and the opportunity here is really about screens and the proliferation of screens. And any new car today will have a large screen in the center console. Most of those cars are on 5G networks. So it's a mobile device in that sense. And they're typically running Android or a standard operating environment. That enables us to bring our content solution, our video-driven content solution to the consumer. Now, this is really only videos playing when the car stops. So these are standstill moments when it's a single screen. But this year really signals the launch of multi-screen cars in market. So Mercedes, we showed that at CES this year, and we'll have others to show very, very soon. So stay tuned there. That means the co-driver or passenger has a screen, and then rear seat screens are starting to proliferate as well. So that may be more kid-centric content in the back seat, or in certain parts of the world with really high-end cars, those are the owners in the back seat. So these are the sort of the touch points for the consumer. And if it's an existing partner of ours, the same account you log in with at home, you log in with in the car. We're also bringing free ad-supported content there, so no login required. And that means linear channels, partners like Bloomberg. I've got news right there, front and center. We've got over 40 sports channels available in the car, in addition to movies and television entertainment. So it's all there. It's early yet, but it's really starting to take shape as a high-volume, large-scale market segment for us.
It's very exciting, and I'm sure families and people all over will appreciate the chance to spend more time with content. Listen, Scott, thank you so much for dropping by, and great to see you here in Denver.
All right. Thanks. Great to be here. Appreciate it.